3 weeks ago, I was arranging my wedding. Today I'm alone because of one talk. I didn't think mattered. I'm Jessica. I never thought I'd be married at 28. But here I am with a ring on my hand and a wedding to organize. Scott proposed 6 months ago, and I still catch myself looking at the ring when I'm supposed to be working. My dating history before Scott wasn't anything impressive. A few serious boyfriends, some casual things in between. I've definitely had more practice than Scott, which caused a bit of stress when we first got together. He found out about a guy I dated before him who was, well, let's just say skilled in ways Scott wasn't. Scott got weird about it for a while, but we talked it through and he seemed to get over it. That was 2 years ago, so it's ancient history now. Work keeps me busy. I'm in marketing at a tech company, and my team is pretty cool. There are two guys, Mark and Jake, that I've gotten close with over the past year. We go to lunch together most days and chat about everything. Work, drama, TV shows, our relationships. It's nice having guy friends who don't want anything from me. Wedding plans still driving you nuts? Mark asks. As we walk back from lunch, don't even get me started. I say Scott doesn't care about any of the details. I asked him about napkin colors, and he just shrugged. Jake laughs. Sounds like most guys I know. When I get home, I usually have an hour to myself. Before Scott gets back from work, I like to read during this time. I'm into all kinds of novels, thrillers, fantasy, and yes, some romance too. I've never told Scott about some of the spicier books I read, not that he'd judge, but some things are just for me, you know. Scott and I have a good thing going. He's not the most talkative guy, but he listens when it matters. He's reliable, clever, and we have great chemistry. When we first met at my friend's barbecue, I wasn't sure about him. He kept to himself, watching everyone else have fun, but when we talked I realized he was just observing, taking everything, and that's his way. How is work? Scott asks when he gets home, giving me a quick kiss. Same old. Mark's girlfriend is pressuring him to propose, so I've been telling him what to expect. Scott nods but doesn't say much. That's normal for him. Our evenings are pretty routine. We make dinner, watch TV, and talk about our day. Sometimes friends come over, but mostly it's just us. I like the calm comfort of our relationship. Nothing fancy, but it works. Wedding planning takes up most of my weekends now. Scott comes along to tastings and venue tours, but I can tell he's just going through the steps. He says he trusts my choice, which is kind, but also his way of not having to make decisions. What do you think about these flowers? I ask, showing him photos on my phone. They look pretty, he says, barely glancing at them. That's what you said about the last three options. He shrugs. They all look nice. I laugh and bump him with my shoulder. You're hopeless. My friends are happy about the wedding. My best friend, Erin, helps with planning and listens to me talk about Scott constantly. You two are so opposite, she says once. But it works somehow. He balances me out. I tell her I talk enough for both of us. I believe in talking things through. My parents never communicated well, and I saw how that ruined their marriage. Scott isn't big on deep conversations, but when something important comes up, he listens. That's enough for me. We haven't picked a honeymoon spot yet. I want somewhere tropical, but Scott hates the warmth. We'll figure it out eventually. That's how we work. We take our time, we compromise, we move forward. Sometimes I wonder if I'm too much for him. I can be loud, emotional, and I share everything with everyone. Scott's the opposite, but that's why we fit. He's my anchor when I'm all over the place, and I think I bring some fun to his life. So yeah, that's us. Not perfect, but perfect for each other. At least that's what I thought until recently. But that's getting ahead of things. Hey, this is Scott. I've always kept to myself, been this way since I was a kid. My dad left when I was 8 and mom worked 2 jobs, so I learned to manage things on my own. No point complaining about it. That's just life. Most mornings I'm up at 5:34, a run before work. Jessica sleeps through it. She calls me crazy for running that early, but I like the quiet. Gives me time to think without anyone talking at me. Work is fine. I'm a project manager at a construction company. The guys trust me because I don't waste time with office politics or unnecessary talk. I do my job, they do theirs. We all go home. Simple. When Jessica and I first got together, I had to adjust to her experience. She'd been with more people than me, including this one guy she kept bringing up. That was tough. I'm not the jealous type, but hearing about her ex knowing exactly what to do in bed made me wonder if I measured up. I never told her that, though, just work through it on my own. How was your day? Jessica asks when I get home. Fine. Solve that issue with a Hamilton project, I say, hanging up my jacket. She smiles. That's great. Want to hear about my wild day? I nod and listen while she talks about office drama. Jessica talks A lot which works for us. I've never been one for telling every thought in my head our engagement is going well. I asked because it was the next logical step, and I know she's the one. For me, the wedding planning is her thing. On weekends, I usually repair things around the apartment or watch sports. While Jessica does wedding stuff with her friends, sometimes we go out with other couples, but I prefer when it's just us I'm happy with. Jessica, she's smart, pretty, and doesn't play games when she has a problem, she says it directly. I admire that. Most people waste time dancing around issues instead of just saying what they want. My buddy Chris thinks it's strange that Jessica talks so much about her co-workers, especially the guy. Says his wife never mentions male colleagues. I tell him it's fine. Jessica's always been kind with everyone. That's just how she is. Truth is, I trust Jessica. She chose me and she's wearing my ring. That's what counts. Today started like any other day. Work, gym, home. For dinner, Jessica made pasta and was talking about her day while I listened. Then she said something that caught my attention. So we were having this odd conversation at lunch today. She says, twirling pasta on her fork. Mark and Jake were talking about threesomes. I keep my face neutral. Yes, she nods. Jake said his girlfriend would only agree to one if the other girl wasn't thinner than her. Isn't that weird? I shrug and keep eating. Jessica continues, they asked if I'd ever had one. I told them no, but I almost did once back in college. I had these two friends with benefits at the same time and they knew each other. It never happened though. My fork stops halfway to my mouth. This is new information. I set it down slowly. I've actually thought about what it would be like, she says lightly. You know, a guy and a guy. And what I asked, my voice, even a guy and me and another guy. She says. I look at her across the table. She's still eating. Like what she just said is no big deal. Like she didn't just tell me she's thinking about another guy or even two while engaged to me, and she shared this with her male co-workers. Interesting, I say. I take a sip of water and focus on keeping my breathing steady. Jessica moves on to talking about wedding caterers, but I'm not listening anymore. I'm thinking about those male co-workers she's so close with. I'm thinking about her almost threesome. I'm thinking about a lot of things. I nod at the right times as she talks, but inside I'm already deciding what comes next. Something's off with Scott. It's been 3 days since our dinner, and he's barely said 10 words to me. At first I thought he was just stressed about work, but now I'm not so sure. Everything okay? I ask. We get ready for bed. He's on his side, facing away from me. Fine, he says. That's it, just fine. I try to remember what could have started this. We were having a regular dinner. I told him about my day, about the strange conversation at lunch with Mark and Jake. Then wait, was it the three-way thing? Surely not. It was just a random conversation. Are you upset about something I said? I try again. He shrugs. Just sleepy, but I know Scott. This isn't tired. This is something else. The next morning I try to kiss him goodbye, but he turns his head so I catch his cheek instead of his lips. Now I'm sure something's wrong. At work I can barely concentrate during my lunch break. I call my friend Erin. I think Scott's mad at me, but I don't know why. I tell her what happened before he started acting weird. She asks. I think back we were just having dinner. I told him about this conversation at work about threesomes. Wait, what, you talked to your fiancé about threesomes? Not like that. It was just a random topic that came up with coworkers. I said I'd read about them in books, and you told Scott this. Yeah, why not? It wasn't a big deal. Erin sighs. Jessica, did you tell him you want to have a threesome? No. Well, I mean, I said I'd imagined what it would be like with two guys, but I was just being real. It's not like I'm planning to actually do it. There's a long pause. You told your fiancé you've thought about being with another man. When you say it like that, it sounds bad, because it is bad. Jess, how would you feel if he told you he dreams about other women? I hadn't thought about it that way, but it was just talk with guys at work. Come on, Jess. That night I try again. Scott's watching TV, his face blank. Can we talk? I ask, sitting next to him. He mutes the TV but doesn't look at me. Are you upset about what I said the other night about the threesome thing? He finally looks at me. His eyes are cold. Why would I be upset about my fiancé telling me she thinks about other men? I flinch. Scott never talks like that. It wasn't like that. I say, you discussed our sex life with guys from work. No, it wasn't about us. It was just a general conversation about you having sex with different men. When he puts it that way, I can see why he's upset, but he's blowing this out of proportion. Scott, I love I don't want anyone, else it was just talk. Just talk, he repeats, unmuting the TV. I try touching his arm, but he stiffens. I pull back, hurt. The next few days are torture. Scott goes through the motions, goes to work, comes home, eats dinner, but he's not really here when I try to talk about the wedding. He just nods. I'm starting to panic. One silly conversation is ruining everything I need to fix this. Scott, please talk to me. Do you talk about our sex life with those guys often? He asks suddenly. Scott, they're just friends from work. There's nothing going on. One of them is the guy you have lunch with every day. Mark, yes, but he's just a friend. Scott nods slowly. A male friend you discuss threesomes with. Put like that, I can see how it looks, but he's making assumptions that aren't fair. He stands up. I'm going for a walk. As he grabs his jacket, I realize how bad this is. One stupid conversation about a dream I don't even really want is destroying us. How did this happen? I need to repair this, but I don't know how. When he won't even talk to me, I walk for 2 hours just walking, thinking when I get back to the apartment Jessica's asleep on the couch, probably waited up for me. I don't wake her. In the morning I know what I need to do. I've always been clear, no point dragging things out. When the message on the wall, Jessica is making coffee. When I come into the kitchen, we need to talk, I say, sitting at the table. Scott, please. She starts. I'm sorry about. I cut her off. I've been reflecting about what happened, about what you said. It was just talk. She says quickly, it didn't mean anything. That's the problem. It should mean something. Talking to other men about sex should mean something. She sits across from me holding her coffee mug. They're just friends from work. Would you be okay if I discuss threesomes or my private fantasies with female co-workers? She pauses. That tells me everything. Maybe you fantasize about threesomes with Mark or other guys in the office, I say, keeping my voice calm. Is that why you brought it up with him first, or were you testing the waters with me? No, it's not like that at all. It was just a casual conversation. Casual conversations don't include your sexual fantasies, Jessica. Not with other men, not when you're engaged. She starts crying again. What are you saying, that you don't trust me? I didn't trust you then. I found out you talk about other men with your male co-workers. I never said I wanted to them. No, you just told them you thought about threesomes. You told them about your past experiences. You open that door. She wipes her eyes. So what, I can't have male friends now? That's not what this is about. This is about respect, boundaries. I didn't cross any boundaries. Nothing happened. I look at her, really look at her. You don't even see it, do you think? Because you didn't physically cheat, everything's fine because it is fine. It was just talk. I shake my head. Not to me, not with guys you see every day who now know you thought about threesomes. So what do you want from me? To leave my job, to never talk to them again? I want someone who understands why this hurts. Her face changes as she understands what I'm saying. Scott, no, we can work through this. I love you. I take a deep breath. I'm calling off the engagement. She gasps. Because of one conversation? You're throwing everything away over this? No, I'm making a decision based on what I learned about you. Maybe there are more conversations, and I'm not ready to break my head every day about what you might talk to or do with other guys. This isn't right, she says, voice rising. You are overreacting. That's what you still don't get. To me, this isn't an overreaction. So that's it. We're just done. I nod. I'll stay with Chris until you figure out next steps with the apartment. Please don't do this. She pleads. Let's talk to someone, a counselor. There's nothing to talk about. You crossed the line I can't get past. I don't give a no. Everyone talks about fantasies. She claims sexual fantasies with co-workers they see every day. That too, about having sex with multiple partners while engaged. I stand up and go to the bedroom, start packing a bag with basics. Jessica follows, still crying. You're really doing this, ending our engagement over something so stupid? It's not stupid to me. I keep packing, locked on the task. I hate you, she says. That makes this easier. Then I grab my bag and head for the door. Scott, wait, I didn't mean that. I turn back one last time. I'll get the rest of my stuff later. As I walk out, she's still calling my name. I don't look back. There's no point. Some lines once crossed can't be uncrossed. In my car, I block her number. Then I drive to Chris's place, start over, move on. It's simpler this way. No long discussions, no back and forth, no may. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. What a mess. Here I am crying to my friends about how controlling Scott was and blaming him for the breakup. It's easier than admitting the truth. He was always jealous of my guy friends. I tell Aaron over wine he couldn't handle. That I had male friends, she looks that doesn't sound like Scott you didn't see. How he was at home, I say he lost it, over nothing later I post. On Instagram, sometimes people aren't who you thought they were, feeling free I add a broken chain emoji petty maybe. But it feels good in the moment my phone lights up with supportive messages friends. Asking if I'm okay, saying, I deserve better each notification, feeds something dark inside me. At work I tell a similar story to my team, Mark and Jake are especially supportive. I always thought he seemed controlling. Mark says the way he barely talked at the office party. Jake nods. Some guys can't handle their women having male friends. The story spreads someone must have told Scott's friends because they start giving me stares when I run into them. One of them, Chris, actually confronts me outside a coffee shop. You're lying about Scott, he says. He told me what really happened. He's twisting things. I snap. He was jealous and controlling. Chris shakes his head. You discussed threesomes with your male co-workers and told Scott you fantasized about other men. That's why he left. I walk away, face burning. How dare Scott tell people about our private conversations? But the damage is growing. Mutual friends start texting Scott, asking for his side. Apparently, my controlling ex story doesn't match the Scott they know. My mom calls next. Jessica, Scott's mother, called me. She says you're telling lies about why the engagement ended. It's messy, Mom, she said. It had something to do with you discussing wrong things with men at work. My stomach sinks. That's not what happened, but doubt has slipped. And I can hear it in her voice. I raised you better than that, Jessica. The final blow comes when my bridesmaid Taylor stops by. I've been talking to Ashley. She says Ashley is Scott's sister. She told me Scott's side. Is it true? What did she say? I asked, pausing. That you talked about threesomes with your male co-workers and told Scott you thought about being with multiple men. I try to explain myself. It was taken out of context. Taylor looks upset. Why didn't you just tell me the truth 2 weeks after Scott left? I see it, a 2-minute video on his Instagram, the first thing he's posted since we broke up. I don't do drama. He starts looking directly at the camera, but lies are being told about why my engagement ended, so I'm setting the record straight. Once he doesn't raise his voice, doesn't call me names. We broke up because my fiancé discussed having threes with her male co-workers, told them about her past sexual experiences, and then told me she thought about being with multiple men. That's it. That's the whole story. If that makes me controlling in her eyes, so be it. I have certain rules in relationships. I'm not apologizing for that. The video ends with this is the first and last I'll say about it within hours. My phone is blowing up again, but it's different this time. Friends asking if it's true, family members expressing sadness. Even Aaron texts, is this what really happened? Why didn't you tell me the truth? Mark and Jake avoid me at work the next day. They hurt too. I tried damage control, posting my own emotional video claiming Scott's twisting things, but the comments are harsh. People who liked my feeling free post now call me out, sitting alone in our half-empty apartment scrolling through social media. My lies have fallen, and now I've lost not just my fiancé, but the trust of friends and family, all because of one careless conversation I thought didn't matter.